Do you know that feeling when your bank notification for a car loan payment arrives exactly on payday? You look at the number and realize you've just worked an entire week not for yourself, but for that piece of machinery. And ahead, there's still insurance, gas, and that strange clunking sound in the suspension. What if I told you that the very thing you bought for freedom has become your personal economic prison? In this video, we're going to break open that cage. Let's call this phenomenon a financial shackle. It's not just a car, it's a collection of obligations: the loan, insurance, routine maintenance, taxes, fuel. All of these tether you to a job you might not love and a specific income level. Your paycheck arrives and immediately disperses into car-related expenses. The main point is this: you don't own the car, you service it. According to research, in Russia, servicing a mid-range car on credit can consume up to 30% of a family's monthly income. This is comparable to renting an apartment. In essence, you have two mortgage payments, one for your home and another for metal on wheels. To escape this trap, you first need to examine its blueprints. In the next 10 minutes, we'll break down the three main budget killers that masquerade as convenience. Then we'll expose the psychological trick that makes you defend your jailer. And most importantly, I'll give you a clear three-step protocol to regain control. This psychological trick is called the endowment effect. It's a cognitive bias that makes us value something far higher than its market worth simply because it's ours. We'll explore how car dealerships exploit this bug in our brains against us. Consider this: the most expensive mile of your day is the first one. It's the moment you turn the key. In that second, you activate your daily share of the loan, insurance, and depreciation. Before you've even left the parking lot, you're already down 1,000 or even 2,000 rubles. Let's call this the activation cost. It's like getting into a taxi where the meter doesn't start at 0, but immediately at 1,000. For a popular sedan costing 2 million rubles on credit, this activation cost, the sum of the daily payment, insurance, and loss of value, easily exceeds 1,500 rubles. You're still asleep, and your car has already devoured your future lunch and dinner. And that amount is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are three predators that hunt your paycheck with a methodical appetite you might not even suspect. And the first one is the most insidious, because it masquerades as help. This first predator, the auto loan. It's not an installment plan. It's a contract under which you buy one car for the price of 1.5, or even 2. The bank gives you the illusion of ownership, but in reality, until you've paid off the debt, you're merely a tenant with an option to buy. Each month you pay not only a portion of the principal but also interest, a payment for thin air. This system wasn't invented by your bank. It was perfected back in 1919 by Alfred Sloan, president of General Motors. His company, GMAC, was the first to widely offer car loans to outpace Ford. They realized, you can sell not cars, but monthly payments. You're participating in a game whose rules were written 100 years ago. The second horseman of your personal apocalypse: insurance. Comprehensive and mandatory liability insurance. You pay a huge sum for an event that may never happen. It's like a gym membership you don't use but are obligated to pay for. And the price of this subscription depends on a dozen factors, all with one goal: to extract the maximum from you. Did you know that the color and engine power directly affect how much you pay insurers? They use complex actuarial models. It's your personalized financial forecast. They consider not only driving experience and age, but also your residential area, profession, and even marital status. A red sports car for a young bachelor in the heart of a metropolis. That's a jackpot for the insurer and a disaster for your wallet. Pause. Take the amount of your annual insurance payment. Now imagine that sum laid out in cash before you. What would you do with it? A vacation, investments, pay off another credit card. Write in the comments the first thing that comes to mind. It's important to understand the price you pay for perceived peace of mind. The third predator, fuel. The most noticeable yet most deceptive expense. 3,000 rubles a week might seem like a small amount, but that's 12,000 a month, and 144,000 a year. That's 3 to 4 months of an average regional salary. Are you willing to work an entire quarter just to sit in traffic? The most shocking part is that when you pay 100 rubles for gas, less than half of that goes to the actual producer. Over 50% of the price at the gas station is taxes, excise duties, mineral extraction tax, VAT. Every press of the gas pedal is not just acceleration, but a direct transfer of money to the state budget. And now, the magic of destruction. The more expensive the car bought on credit, the more expensive its insurance, and typically, the more fuel it consumes. These aren't three separate problems. It's a single hydra, where one head grows two others. By buying a car on credit, you're signing up for the entire package of financial ruin. Let's call this the triple expense multiplier. It's a financial virus. One expensive element, the car itself, automatically infects and increases the cost of the other two, creating a perfect storm for your budget. Let's look at this through the eyes of a car dealership marketer. Their job isn't to sell you a car. Their job is to sell you a monthly payment. They don't care that you'll overpay by 50%. What matters to them is that the figure $30,000 a month sounds manageable to you. You're not buying an asset, you're buying a liability wrapped in the pretty packaging of a monthly payment. This is a classic psychological trick called anchoring, described by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. The salesperson anchors your attention to a small, manageable monthly payment, and against that backdrop, the enormous total cost of the car and the overpayment seem secondary. Your brain is fooled. But if the money is so obvious, why do we keep doing it? Because the strongest chain isn't financial. It's forged in our minds with one very powerful word, a word that has been sold to us as a synonym for a car. Freedom. That's what they sell you. The ability to spontaneously go anywhere, anytime, against a backdrop of mountains, oceans, on empty roads. But let's be honest, 95% of your trips are home, work, supermarket, home. You buy the dream of traveling to the end of the world just to sit in traffic on the way to the office. Let's call this the 95-5 rule. You pay 100% of the cost of car ownership for the hypothetical freedom to make those 5% dream trips that in reality happen once a year, or not at all. And 95% of the time, you're just an expensive hostage to routine. As soon as you buy something, it becomes more valuable in your mind. This is the endowment effect. You start justifying the purchase, even if it's unprofitable. Your financed car isn't just a piece of metal to you, it's my baby. And you're ready to defend it from any criticism, especially from yourself. This cognitive bias is a car dealer's best friend. In a classic experiment by Kahneman, Knetsch, and Thaler, students were given ordinary mugs. Those who received a mug demanded twice as much money for it as those who didn't have one were willing to pay. The mere fact of possession doubled its value in their eyes. Your brain does the same thing with a 2 million ruble car as it does with a 200 ruble mug. A car is the easiest way to display your social status, but it's a game you can't win. There will always be someone with a newer, more expensive, faster car. You enter an endless race for approval, funding the auto industry from your own pocket. You're afraid to appear unsuccessful by switching to public transport. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. The joy of buying a new, more prestigious car fades very quickly, and you return to your usual level of happiness. But the huge payments remain, forcing you to run even faster just to stay in place. Let's introduce a dependency scale. From 1 to 10, where 1 is, a car is just a tool, like a hammer, and 10 is, my car is a part of me. I can't imagine life without it. Where do you fall on this scale? The honest answer might surprise you. It's not good or bad, it's simply a diagnosis. We're told that a car is convenient, but what is convenience? Is it hours spent searching for parking? Is it the stress of traffic jams and aggressive drivers? Is it time spent at the auto repair shop? Is it worrying about where to leave it overnight? We've traded one set of inconveniences for others, far more expensive ones. A 2014 study by the University of East Anglia showed that people who switch from personal cars to public transport or bicycles generally feel happier and experience less stress. The convenience of sitting in traffic has a hidden price, your mental health. And even if you've realized all this, the trap doesn't let go. Because besides the 3 horsemen and psychological illusions, there's a whole army of small, invisible expenses that finish off your budget. They're like piranhas. One by one, they're not scary, but in a swarm, they devour everything. The first and hungriest of them, depreciation, the largest expense you never pay in cash. The second you drive out of the dealership gates, your car loses 10 to 15% of its value. In 3 years, it will halve in price. These are thousands of rubles that simply evaporate every month while you sleep. You're paying a loan for an asset that depreciates faster than you pay off the debt. Think of it this way. The first 5 minutes of owning a new car are the most expensive minutes of your life. In the time it takes to drive from the dealership gates to the first traffic light, a car worth 2.5 million rubles can lose up to 150,000 in value. It's like burning a stack of 5,000 ruble notes in the passenger seat. The second swarm of piranhas, the small things that eat away at your budget from the inside. Twice a year, tire changes. Every year, technical maintenance. Oil, filters, brake pads. This seems insignificant, but add up these small things over a year, and you'll get an amount equal to the cost of a good smartphone or a short vacation. This is the automotive equivalent of the latte factor, which financial expert David Bach writes about. Just as a daily cup of coffee for 300 rubles turns into 100,000 rubles a year, insignificant expenses for tire fitting, car washes, and oil changes merge into a huge sum that could have become your investment portfolio. Here's another black hole. Urban charges. A speeding ticket, paid parking in the city center, a car wash after the rain. Each transaction, 300, 500, 1,000 rubles. You brush them off, but over a year they accumulate to an amount that could cover your taxi expenses for several months. Did you know that annually, Russian drivers pay over 100 billion rubles in traffic fines? You're not just paying for your mistake. You're inadvertently participating in the funding of a giant system that partly exists at the expense of your haste and inattention. And now, a real experiment. Open your bank app right now. In the transaction search, type gas station, parking, car wash, auto service. Just look at the total amount for the last 3 months. Multiply that by 4. This figure is real. Do you like it? This is the true price of your convenience. And finally, the joker in this deck. A sudden breakdown, a broken gearbox, a failed air conditioner, electronics giving out. This always happens unexpectedly and immediately requires a large sum. Do you have a financial cushion of 50 to 100,000 rubles for such a case? If not, that's a direct path to new debt. According to NAFI surveys, more than half of Russians don't have savings to cover sudden expenses of this size. This means that for most people, a serious breakdown isn't just an inconvenience. It's a guaranteed new loan or credit card debt. It's a financial landmine laid under your future. We've dismantled the cage piece by piece. The picture is bleak, and it seems there's no way out, especially if you live somewhere where a car is indispensable. But that's not true. There are alternatives. There are strategies. There is that red pill. Are you ready to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? There are 2 paths. The radical one, a complete rejection of personal car ownership, and the compromise one, transforming your car from master to servant. We're not urging you to sell your car tomorrow. We're urging you to grab a calculator, do the math, and make an informed choice, rather than living by inertia, succumbing to habit and social pressure. The first alternative, the sharing economy. Taxis and car sharing. Calculate how many comfort class taxi rides you could take for the amount you spend on monthly car maintenance. Often, even with daily trips, it turns out to be more cost-effective. Here we encounter 2 different models: total cost of ownership and pay-per-use. Your personal car has a gigantic cost of ownership that you pay for 24 hours a day, even when it's parked. With a taxi or car sharing, your cost of ownership is 0. You only pay for the function you need at that specific moment. The second alternative, a combined approach. The future lies in combination. Public transport for peak hour commutes, an electric scooter for short distances, car sharing for trips to the supermarket, renting a car for out-of-town travel. Yes, this requires planning. But this planning gives you back money and freedom of choice. This approach is called multimodal mobility, and it forms the basis of transportation systems in the most modern cities worldwide. And here's a fact that puts everything into perspective. Statistically, a personal car is used for trips only 5% of the time. The remaining 95% of the time, it just sits there and depreciates. It's one of the most inefficiently used assets you can buy. The third alternative, dialing it down. If a car is absolutely essential, who says it has to be new and status symbolic? Consider selling your financed monster and buying an older but reliable car with cash. The absence of a loan and cheaper insurance will free up enormous resources. It's a blow to the ego, but balm for the wallet. In the world of personal finance, this strategy is known as Dave Ramsey's method. His key advice: never take out a car loan. Buy a reliable used car with cash. It's a proven way to break the vicious cycle of car payments. All of this sounds good in theory, but where do you start in practice? What's the first step you can take tomorrow to begin the liberation process? There's no need to make drastic decisions. What's needed is a clear and safe plan. In the final chapter, I'll give you exactly such a protocol. 3 simple steps that will change everything. First and foremost, don't panic. Your car isn't the enemy. The enemy is unconsciousness and financial decisions made on emotion. Our goal is to give you back control. Step 1. Cold calculation. Grab a pen and paper. Calculate your annual expenses, loan payments, multiply by 12, add insurance, fuel for the year, all maintenance, car washes, tire changes, taxes and fines, and don't forget depreciation. Confidently take 10% of the car's value. Now add all this up and divide by 365. This is the daily cost of owning your car. Write down this number. Let's call it your personal vehicle expense index. It's not just a number. It's your personal indicator that's more important than any statistic. It shows how much money burns away every day, whether you use your car or not. Step 2. The experiment. Let's call it the week of freedom. This isn't a call to give up your car forever. It's a scientific experiment on your own life to gather real data. Try to live 1 work week without your car. Use taxis, public transport, car sharing. Record every ruble. At the end of the week, compare this amount to your vehicle expense index multiplied by 7. For a week, you become a researcher of your own finances and habits. Step 3. A data-driven decision. If the car remains, look for ways to optimize. Refinance the loan, find cheaper insurance, use it less frequently. If the numbers say sell, start preparing a plan to pay off the debt. Essentially, you're upgrading your thinking. You're switching from the fast, emotional System 1, which says, I love my car, to the slow, rational System 2, which asks, what do the numbers say? You're making a decision not with your heart, but with a calculator. We've come full circle, from illusion to cold calculation. And now the main question. After all you've heard, what is your car to you? Is it freedom, or is it a necessity? Write just 1 word in the comments. It will help both you and thousands of others understand where we all stand. Thank you for watching.